6 million children. That's following Taylor Swift.
Taylor, give up your jets. Okay, send that to Taylor Swift. And stick it in your pollution package and smoke it.
Mommy wants to take a picture.
Really big systemic changes we need to see. We need scale and we need urgency right now.
Well, they say, oh, he was attacked in the hospital sound.
They've actually got
I need to help
when you are no longer
It's that attitude of you look after the land look after it's kind of a bit north of
when yesterday.
to save our wildlife. And everyone, on the count of three, restore, each announce the loudest you can. 1, 2, 3. Restore nature now! It's so good to announce that really far. That's it, you didn't actually know he was coming up on stage until about 5 minutes ago. So the confidence that he has is so great at communicating about wildlife with all of them. Next up, we've got our very introduction. Founder and CEO of Electricity, passionate about making the world a better place. It is the one and only Dale Bliss.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, sorry, folks, not this way. Sorry, you need to go that way.
Thank you. So we know nature is decline. Stats are scary. 50% of farmland, 80% of farmland, 97%. We've heard that stuff. What's the cause? Explain that to you. It takes up
1v1 wants to take a picture.
No, I need to hold you.
It was a different situation. I could have went and watched all the games. Even the first game with Indonesia.
combustion and no pollution, and then we run electric motors instead of kerosene-powered engines to drive the propellers. We should be in the air by the end of this year, flying in flying in Britain with a range of 300 miles to begin with, and I think it's a 70-seat capacitor airplane, so a proper airplane, proper routes. Give us 18 months, we'll be doing 500 miles and 90-seat capacity. Give us 2.5, 3 years, we'll be flying to Europe 1,000-mile range with no pollution at all. I just want to say one thing about this, because aviation gets a lot of headlines. It's not actually a lot of our emissions, but it's a big emotional issue. And if we're trying to bring the bulk of people with us on this mission to net zero, clean living, whatever you want to call it, we can't go around telling them they have to give things up. And flying is a great example of that. There's a different way to do everything that we need to have, that we want to have, and EcoJet is probably the greatest example.
Let's hear it for Donald Vince.
Thank you all. And thank you for Chris. Put this on.
That's the sort of genius that we need to get us out of the jam. But whilst we're on aviation, I'd like to introduce you to Ella. Ella, come on out. Come over here. Let's have a big hand for Ella. Now, Ella is a Taylor Swift fan. Ella, tell us why you like Taylor Swift so much.
I think she's just such an inspiration to like so many people, and yeah, she really inspires me to do everything that I want to do.
Will you be rushing away from our gathering this afternoon to see Taylor Swift this evening?
No, I'm going tomorrow night.
And you're very excited about that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but what do you think about your idol, Taylor Swift, using private jets? Hold on. Listen, you're not Taylor Swift fans. Ella's a Taylor Swift fan. Let's hear what her fans think about her using those private jets. Ella, tell us how you feel.
I don't think it's very good because I think she has a huge carbon footprint, and the fact that her younger fans are going to have to grow up and that she's sort of losing this.
Ella, I know you're a fan of Taylor, but can you sing? Taylor, give up your jets. Taylor, give up your jets. Taylor! I said I couldn't sing. Give up your jets. Taylor, give up your jets. Come on, we want it louder than this. We want all of those fans at Wembley to hear it. One more go. Taylor, give up your jets.
6 million children following Taylor Swift.
Taylor, give up your jets. Okay, send that to Taylor Swift and stick it in your pollution package and smoke it. I hope you have a... Oh, I've got a friendship bracelet. So we've managed to offend all the Swifties, but they're still our friends. Testament to those young people. Ella, thank you very much for being so honest. It says, please leave me alone, don't pick on me anymore.
Message taken.
Oh no, hold on, I flipped it over and it said I'm giving up my jets. I've realised the error of my ways.
Come on, that happened quickly, didn't it? Gosh, she listened, she heard and she acted. Brilliant. Next up, we have a man who is probably much better at singing than you are.
I
think that's not that much of a stretch, is it?
I think that I was singing along to him in 1979 at Southampton University, and I'd sent him a cassette of a band that I was playing in for the Titanic survivors, asking if we could support his band, and he said no. But I'm not going to hold it against him, because he gave me teenage kicks all through the night, and now he's our greatest campaigner for fresh water in the UK. He is the one, the only, Feckle Sharkey. Let's hear it.
You wonderful, beautiful, extraordinary looking people. How glorious to see you all here. Give yourselves a thunderous round of applause for making it all this way. Champion! There is, however, one thing I have to share with you. You've been lied to, you've been cheated, you've been misled, you've been told untruths, you've been promised greatness, you've been promised a world that is brighter, more prosperous, greener than anything we've ever seen before, and you have been lied to. As I stand here, there is not a single river anywhere in England that is not polluted. And one of the largest sources of that pollution is the water industry. And where do you want to sit? They have bled our church streets dry. They have filled the remains with sewage. And along the way, have pocketed £72 billion of your cash, your money, that is now residing in a bank account somewhere offshore on a natural in the tropics. They have paid their executives unbelievably untold amounts of your money. To give you one simple example, there is a chief executive at just one water company who has been paid £27.7 million over the last 10 years. Funny you should say that. I may come back to that. In 2009, 25% of England's rivers were in good ecological condition. By 2015, that will drop to 16%. And as we stand here today, just 42% of England's rivers meet that level. The Environment Agency's current projection is by 2027, just 6%. That is why today is the first day, and why you now need to be sure to let the men and women that will inhabit that building in 13 days' time, in July the 5th, hear your voice, hear the flood of humanity you're generating, hear the flood of defiance you're now prepared to put in the way, hear the flood of obscenities that you will not allow this to go on any longer, certainly not in your name, certainly not in your children's name. Today is the day it stops. this is not resolved in a meaningful, proactive, driven, ambitious way with a government with a vision and determination, then we will want change, and we will want change for a second time. And if it needs be, promise me you will all be back here again 2 times more, 3 times more, and if need be, we will come back 100 times and bring 1 million people. Are the most important people in this conversation, because you in your hand hold the biggest voice of all that this nation has ever seen. It's called democracy. Because one of this time, I am going to demand of you, I will insist that you go to the ballot box and you vote for who you think will actually deliver the change that you want. Because I, for one, am not prepared to live in this world, and I, for one, am not prepared to leave this legacy of this ruinous, corrupt madness, and I am not prepared to hand that legacy to my children, their children, the children of my children's children. It all stops on July the 4th. Get out there, give them hell, make your voice heard, let's change this country. My name is Fergal Sharkey. May your God go with you.
I grew up listening to the Undertones, and I didn't think I could love Fergal Sharkey anymore. But then he started campaigning for wildlife, and yeah, what a force to be reckoned with he is. Now, I've just seen a fantastic sign here that says less feces, more species. So, after me, everybody, less feces, more species. Less feces, more species. Brilliant.
Hey, for a dyslexic person, you did that tongue twister quite well, didn't you?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've been practicing.
Fantastic stuff. Right, listen, from one hero to another, now the hero of the hour. I hope we're all coming together in screen light as we're going to review Sarah Fish. Sure. Sorry, you stuck up with me. Sarah. Come on, man. Right, you think of the hero of the hour.
You'd be amazed how many lawyers we've heard working for the government, the oil company, West Cumbria coal mine, who else, Surrey County Council, say that that wasn't the case, but we won, and that applies now not only to all future oil and gas and coal developments, but some that have been already permitted, but are subject to legal challenge. So, Cumbria coal mine, Rosebank, massive giant oil and gas field in the North Sea, Jackdaw, Biscuitball onshore oil well in Lincolnshire. Give it a cheer. Biscuitball. Yeah. It's horse milk that's illegal going on too. And a friend of mine in Scotland sent me a photo of the front page of the Scottish Daily Mail. It said, this courtroom in the oil industry. So, rewilding works economically. We've seen that across those projects, the increase, the job numbers, full-time equivalent job numbers have doubled in England and Wales, and they've gone up an amazing 400% in Scotland. So rewilding can mean jobs for local people, it can mean new nature-based enterprises, it can mean flourishing and thriving communities. So for us, restoring nature and rewilding across 30% of Britain is not just the right thing to do. It is the most productive use of our land and our seas. So we want to see a political commitment to 30% rewilding, and we want to see long-term, sustained funding and financing systems that value and invest in nature. And on the 4th of July, we should all think big and go wild. And I'm just going to hand over now to the amazing Flo Blackburn, who has done an exploration, a rewilding exploration around Europe for the film Why Not Scotland? So I'd like you to listen to some of her thoughts and reflections on that experience. Thank you very much. Think big and go wild.
Okay everyone, apparently there's a paraben over Parliament. Let's hope it's in a predatory mood.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Flo. Last year, I travelled to several nature restoration projects in Europe for a rewilding film called Why Not Scotland, to compare what I saw there with what I know from growing up in rural Scotland. Like the UK as a whole, one of the most nature-depleted countries in the world. It was a story of eco-anxiety and despair, turning slowly into hope along the journey. And so I wanted to describe some experiences I had, which enabled me to know the nature-based community. Swampland, expanding so far that after an hour of walking, we were not yet at the end of it. Insects, so little that their beating wings created a loud, constant hum, joined by the triumphant chorus of frogs and clamorous birdsong of those thriving on such abundant insect life. And finally, miles and miles of forest, sitting on land that was fully deforested 100 years ago. Many of the processes which have allowed nature to return in force only required people to contribute time and space for it to do so. But the main realization I had was that physically, much of what we have lost here in the UK can return without much difficulty. The current state of nature is a result of historical decision-making, and the future of nature will be down to the choices made here and now. The good news is that much work is already happening around the UK, but with an over-reliance on charities and generous landowners, we need to stop treating nature restoration as an act of goodwill for the necessity that it is. So don't let anyone tell you that what we are demanding today is a kindness. Protecting the natural world isn't kind, but necessary for everyone's survival. Thank you.
Okay, we're running a little bit short of time. Next up, is something the ISPB. It's going to go Larson to tell us about people's wildlife. That's not people's nature.
Hi, folks. It's great to be here. I'm Global Conservation Director for the RSLB. People quite often ask me why I'm always so optimistic and so positive about the future in the face of the wildlife declines that we see and the warming planet and the pressures we're putting on nature. And quite simply, it is because I work for an organisation and I work in a movement where every day I see action that brings me hope. Action on the ground where we're turning things around. We just need to scale it up and we need to go faster. My passion for nature started growing up on a family farm where there were so many lapwing that conservationists at the time didn't even count them. They called them an assemblage of common upland birds. Today in Wales, in that part of the world where I'm from, there are probably 500 pairs of breeding lapwing in total. They are really rare. They are part of the 38 million birds we've lost from our skies during my lifetime. But on nature reserves, we are bucking that trend. Conservation scientists have done patient research. Wardens have worked really hard to get the exact recipe of habitat management for lapwing. And we are bringing them back. And the birds have returned. So much so, I would call some of our nature reserves lapwing factories. But it isn't going to be enough just to have lapwing on isolated nature reserves. We have to connect them up, and that's why we need politicians and government to act on the frameworks for nature, the financial and policy frameworks that will enable farmers to get a pay rise if they work for nature and transition to nature and climate friendly farming. The other thing that gives me hope every day is people. All of you people here today energise me and give us strength and passion to carry on this fight. And just over a year ago, RSPB, Wildlife Trust, WWF and the National Trust came together to bring an assembly of people. It was the first people assembly for nature. We found 100 people from all over the UK.
If you want to get through, it'd be best to go around.
But also prioritise access to nature with all the benefits that connection to nature brings for our well-being. They call for us to reset our relationship with nature and its value in our lives and put the environment at the heart of decision-making. And it gives me hope that when you bring 100 people like the UK together, they can find solutions. And many of us, when they started this journey, knew very little about sport when we were today. Some of you started off saying they didn't care much about it. But I'm delighted that many of them are here today with us. They've changed their minds. They are passionate about sport. They're continuing to the people plan for nature is going to be the best for me before the one union ends. So that is why I have hope, because we know the solutions. We just have to get these guys committed. When they start imposing the line, we need to let them know they must restore nature now. Thank you. So much, Katie. So important to our new government really push that narrative forward. Now, next up, we have Daisy Garney. Now, I fell in love with coming to protests like these back in 2018 when I joined Extinction Rebellion on the streets, and I met so many brilliant activists, and she is one of them. She's absolutely fantastic. Welcome, Daisy.
First of all, I would actually like for everyone to clap for themselves today. Thank you so much for showing up. Because this is what democracy looks like. This is what love looks like. I know that we're all here today because we've decided to come together to restore nature now. For me, it's pretty close to my heart because I grew up in London, but also I grew up in Lincolnshire. And it was at the beginning of my relationship with nature where I really recognised what kind of crisis was. It's because I fell in love with nature. I knew that when the time was in crisis, I needed to stand up. And that is what each and every one of you guys are doing today. So at this time, I asked you to think about what do we love about nature. One of the things I love the most about nature is the fact that nature is not based on position, it's based on collaboration. And right now we see ourselves in the wake of a general election of where we don't see enough people talking about nature, we don't see enough people talking about climate crisis, we don't see enough people recognise that this political system is simply not fit for the crisis that we're facing. This political system has not been fit for a lot of people for a long time.
This matter
nature in so many levels, whether it's our economy, whether it's the food that we produce, whether it's the difference it makes to people. If you think about it, nature is at the very heart of what we consider to be important in Britain. Think about our literature where we talked about Rutland and Bold and Windy Willows. Think about the landscapes that we hold dear, whether that's the Lake District or the White Cliffs of Dover. This is our chance to make a difference, to make our voice heard, to make all politicians realise that nature needs supported. So have an amazing day and make your voice heard. Thank you. At the RSPB, we believe quite simply in a world that is richer in nature. We want a world where people and the natural world are in harmony with each other. We believe every species has the right to exist. There's a moral impulse in us to pass on the natural world in a better state than we find it for future generations. At present, nature is in a bad state. We've lost 38 million birds from our skies, beautiful birds, in the last 50 years. And we also believe that nature underpins so much of what matters for us as a species. We are a part of nature. It underpins the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and it can be our best ally in dealing with climate change. So that's why we need politicians and governments who are prepared to step into this space and drive the really big systemic changes we need to see. We need scale and we need urgency right now. And we know what we have to do. So many of the solutions are there. We just need to apply them together, working together, and with governments and politicians. So please, let's all restore nature now.
Now we're all here standing alongside so many different organisations. Looking out in the crowd, I can see Wildlife Trust, I can see Born Free. What else have we got? RSPB, Extinction Rebellion, Just Stop Oil. All of us here for that common focus, that commonality of a mission to restore nature now. Now there's one organisation, an umbrella organisation, which looks after a lot of those different organisations. The Wildlife and Countryside Link, and the CEO, the founder, Richard Benwell, is the most fantastic speaker, I think one of the best that I've ever heard. He's a brilliant, brilliant man, very passionate about restoring nature now. So let's welcome Richard Benwell.
It's wonderful to see you lovely nature lovers. Has everybody still got some energy? That's great news because I'm going to talk about politics. I'm going to talk about politics because every general election is a chance for change. It's a turning point. And whoever wins this time, it's our chance to check our collective compass and take the temperature of the nation. And you don't need me to tell you that the temperature is rising. It's rising. And it's rising because Nick Cologne is making people blood boil. Because time again, we've come to these turning points that we've gone down the wrong path. Time after time, the politicians put short-term gain over the future of our natural world. The implication. You don't need me to recite the list of doom, 106 species, risk of extinction, not a single water body in good condition. Tens of thousands of lives cut short every year by pollution. But friends, even when going gets tough, we are not powerless. We have the power of science on our side. So it's hats off to the ornithologists, the biologists, the botanists, the meteorologists who get up every day, whatever the weather. It's hats off to you guys, everyone who sat in the midnight birdwatch making their teams to turn up, or who's got their real ways of going out together. And we have the power of campaigning something exact representative directive, hundreds of thousands who helped us with the world's first sea-dividing carbon nature. And we have the power of the law. Oceana, out there defending our seas. Wild justice, fighting down unsustainable ships. Sarah Finch fighting is the house that gave us the time to set up green governance. This is the house that gave us the wildlife countryside and protected scores of species for their survival. This is the house that gave us the Clean Air Act, where the wind smog, and this is the house that looked up from the whole of the Second World War while the bombs were still falling. The world with the politicians in this place have the foresight to protect that national heart and create a real heart of the future. And folks, here we stand again. Looking and as the gentleman
elected to the board, like basically like.
let's not let the environment department be some backwater ministry. But this time, we need greater let's not let the politicians.
It's the shadows.
Let's speak with one voice. Let's have be clear. Let's have with our government of peace and let's make sure that this government is spending let's not let the big
I've heard of it. What is it? No me he perdido. Me mareo.
下来的时候慢一点。再气，一点一点，一点一点。